Hi, and thanks for returning to the Healthy Relationships channel, where I discuss everything about relationships, breakups, how to cope, how to heal, how to move forward, and how to choose healthier. Today, I decided to talk about codependency. There's so much to say about codependency, and just to start, it was a phenomenon that was discovered in the dynamics of alcoholic families, but it doesn't mean that you need to be alcoholic or had to have grown up in an alcoholic family to have codependency. This is something that many people struggle with, and I thought I'd shed a little light on this today. One thing to consider is how you feel when you are in relationships with other people. How do you really feel? Are you feeling stable? Do you feel anxious? Do you feel unsafe? Because paying attention to how you feel after you interact with others really gives you some insight as to where you are. A common trait of people that struggle with codependency is having a tendency to feel anxious and really reading into a lot of what the other person is experiencing. And this really comes from a need, a desire to control the situation. Codependent people have a hard time regulating their emotion. In a way, they attempt to do this through their relationships. The codependent person takes on a caretaker role. And this is at the heart of the codependent person, because that is how they get to be close to you. That is how they get to understand you. And that is how they get to feel like things will be okay. If they can just take care of you, they can just help you. The codependent person will feel responsible for others. They will take on a caretaker role. And so they really feel and very much read into other people's feelings, their choices, what they want, what they're lacking, what they need. And this is very concerning for the codependent person, because as they do this, their focus of attention gets away from their issues, their problems, their feelings, and very much laser focused on the people that they're caretaking for. And something that really gets to the codependent person is the experience that others do not behave the same way for them. And this is common because not everyone is codependent. Not everyone is going to be as concerned for someone else as you are, right? And so this tendency to be overly concerned, this tendency to want to make sure that everything in that other person's life is good and kind of make them your little project, right? It's kind of like their way of controlling the situation and having some stability and control in their lives, knowing that they're able to help somebody else and able to get them to a place of possibly better health, possibly better decision making, and it really boosts the self-esteem of the codependent person. And all of these things are not done with any kind of malicious intent. In no way is this done with any malicious intent. However, it is a byproduct of poor coping on the codependent person's side. And I will talk a little bit more about that moving forward. But just to give you a little more insight as to what the codependent person feels, maybe you've felt some of these things. It doesn't mean to say that you're very high on codependency. Maybe you're somewhere in the spectrum. Some people are borderline codependent, and some people are just complete codependent and really decompensate the moment something doesn't go their way in their relationship. So here are some things to keep in mind and ask yourself. Do I try to people please? Do I try to put other people's needs ahead of my needs all the time and to my detriment, right? So if a friend calls me and asks me, oh, I need a favor, and I'm in the middle of a doctor's appointment, am I going to stop my doctor's appointment and just go ahead and do what my friend needs me to do, or do what my family member needs me to do for fear that this family member or friend will reject me, for fear that they will get angry at me. Something else to ask yourself is, do you feel sad because you spend a lot of time giving to others, but yet you're not receiving that same attention? People aren't reciprocating in that same way. And do you find that you get bored or empty or feel worthless if there isn't some type of a crisis or problem or something going on, or someone to help? Do you wonder why others don't do the same for you? Do you feel like you abandon routines once you get into relationships? Maybe once you start to date someone, you just tend to forget about yourself, and all of a sudden you're just focused on everything that they want to do. And finally, do you feel angry, unappreciated, and sometimes used? Sometimes you might feel like, wow, I'm constantly calling everybody. I'm the one that goes to my friend's house and I decorate for the occasion. I'm the one that gets everybody together, or I'm always fixing everybody's car, or I'm always doing XYZ for everyone. I'm always the one that everybody calls when they need a problem solved. And yet, no one's reciprocating. People don't treat me this way. Are you experiencing some resentment because of this? And if you are, this is a big clue that you might have to look into some of these behaviors and ask yourself, why are you accommodating to the point that you make yourself uncomfortable, to the point that it's unhealthy? And when I mean accommodating, I don't mean going out of your way here and then to do a favor for others. That's not a bad thing. That's called being a good friend. What I mean by overly accommodating is the feeling of anxiety and the feeling of fear and worry if you don't get to meet that person's need. If you don't meet your friend or your relative's need, it's this feeling of anxiety and concern about what's going to happen next, right? Are they going to be mad at me? Am I going to look bad in their eyes? Am I going to look like a bad friend? Am I someone that, is lacking empathy? Do I not care about these people enough? It's all of these worries, concerns, just running through your mind, all of these racing thoughts. If that's happening to you, when you feel like you have to say no, there's a problem. Something else is happening, right? Because that is not a healthy response. It's a disproportionate response. Someone asks you for a favor. If you can't do it, you can't do it, right? Or if you see your friend struggling in an area and you want to help them, but it's just way beyond, what you can do. Well, it's okay. They're adults. They can figure things out. There are other people that can help them. I don't have to resolve everything for everybody, right? And that's a very healthy thought and conclusion to come to. If you can't help the person out, we can't be everything to everybody. And that's something that the codependent person struggles with. The codependent person needs to be needed. They need to be called upon to be involved and to help. And in a very big way, that is comforting for the codependent person. What's not comforting for the codependent person is once they start to see people that completely relied on them just move away, or not rely on them so much because they have other people that can help them at that moment, or they've developed in ways where now they can do things for themselves a little bit more. The codependent person will struggle with that. And at the heart of all of this is a deep feeling of low self-worth. Those who struggle with codependency have a hard time experiencing worth from within and tend to want to find it through their relationships and through the admiration and what they can do for others. I'll definitely follow up with more videos on codependency. If this is something that you struggle with, I strongly encourage you to get the help from a therapist, because this is something that can definitely be worked on. And with enough support, insight and encouragement. These are all behaviors that can be changed and improved on. And it will definitely help you reduce your anxiety. It would definitely help you improve your relationships with others and help you choose friends that really care for you and are really there for you, not for what you can do for them, but are really there for you because they see you and appreciate you just how you are with all of your defects and all of your virtues. So anyway, I hope this video was helpful, and if you really find value in this channel, please like, share, and subscribe. Thanks. Have an awesome day.